Maternal mental health issues can happen to anyone, but they can be overcome. But there is support out there. You can have hope. So I've had mental health issues since I was about 15. At the midwife appointments, they talked about the baby, and I think that really contributed to me feeling like I didn't matter. And that built up to me really resenting the baby. It got to the point where I hated being pregnant. All the time I was thinking, I've made a huge mistake. My mental health had started to severely decline. It wasn't until the 30-week mark that I actually was able to admit it to myself, because the problems that I was having were so horrifying. I didn't really want to tell anybody before then, without me really consciously thinking that that's what I was going to do. When I sat down with one of the obstetricians and they said, "How are you today?" That's all it took for me to tell them everything. I wanted to hurt my baby and myself, and they could see that I was distressed, I was crying, I was shaking, I was confused. There was never any judgment. There was only ever kindness and compassion, and they said to me, "Don't worry, we will take care of you," and they did. Nobody knew how I was going to be once my daughter was born. From my perspective, I wanted things to be different. I wanted it to be that instant rush of love, and I wanted to be able to almost have a, yes, okay, antenatal depression has stopped now, and now she's here, and all of a sudden I'm better. I held on to that's how it was going to be. Inevitably, it wasn't. It took me some time to look at her, and when I did look at her, I just felt really indifferent to her. When I held her, I didn't feel anything but guilt and sorrow. I just felt so sorry that I'd made this mistake and chosen to bring her into this world, and that I couldn't give her what she needed. And I just remember just feeling so hopeless and sad for her, because I was in a really bad way after she was born. They would talk to me and they would help me with my daughter, and they would check in with my husband, which was really important. It was a really, really scary time for him. They didn't just hold me, they held him and my daughter. The support that I had around me, that's what made a difference. That's what helped me out of it. I think there was a glimmer of something in me that knew I had to fight. Gradually, with a lot of help and a lot of intervention, we've got to where we are now, which is a happy little family of 3. I recognise now that I was ill, and that's okay. It's not, luckily, had an effect on my relationship now, 15 months on, with my daughter. I found sitting down, getting to know my child, learning how to play with her, learning how to communicate with her has been really useful. I was really closed off to love and affection before I had my daughter, and she's taught me how to open that side of me that I'd really shut off for a really long time. To keep well takes a little bit of effort, takes a little bit of conscious thinking, mindfulness. I think acceptance is a really big thing, accepting where you are now and what you can actually reasonably achieve. Just be the best parent that you possibly can be, and if that means that all you do that day is pop down the corner shop, that's okay. My life now is better than I thought it could be. I'm a lot more resilient and stronger than I ever thought that I could be. It feels so dark and so suffocating. But when the sun comes out, it's like you see in colour again.